Hey guys, SGT here, and Joe is a 26-year-old police officer from the Orlando, Florida area. He's been in law enforcement for nearly 5 years, and Joe reached out because he wants to help address the issue of self-defense for those to whom this subject is new. Joe's point is that no one should have the ability to come into your home and take your liberty from you by force. Joe, welcome.
How you doing today, SGT?
Hey, I'm great. I'm really good. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you reaching out. I think this is really valuable subject matter to cover because not everybody is an expert on firearms.
Sure. Well, there's several things that I think everybody should think about and realize that they have the ability, as you said earlier. The ultimate goal by me having this conversation with you is simply to let people know that no one should be able to come into your home and take anything from you by force. There's a variation of topics that we can cover, and let's get right into it.
Yeah, and I think we should make a couple of points first. Number one, there are guys out there that do this all day long, every day to talk about brands, ammo, and they get very, very detailed. What I want to do with this conversation is kind of keep it as a little cheat sheet for, sort of the everyman so that we can just talk about these issues in broad strokes. But first, I wanted to ask you about your fellow officers. It's very important, as we've seen with Stewart Rhodes and Oath Keepers, that police officers and military people across this country stand up for their oath and stand up to defend the Constitution. It's honorable. It's the right thing to do. What are you seeing with your fellow officers down there in Florida?
Well, I think that there's a trend that I can't say I appreciate or it's necessarily a good thing, but a lot of people, it seems in more and more recent times, turned maybe a blind eye to certain freedoms that we have as things pass, bills go through Congress, and I think we are, as a country, not just in law enforcement, starting to see a trend maybe towards a negative downside with that.
Okay, so, obviously the hope here with this audience, with myself, is that we'd hear you say that, yes, there's an awakening happening. Yes, this police state that is really becoming pretty evident now as to anybody who's awake at any level, yes, that's being recognized and officers are concerned about it. But I think what you're saying is that that's not the case with the average officer. A lot of these guys are still pretty sound asleep, huh?
Yeah, and more and more people are concerned with what's going to be on television than the economy and the downturn with everything connected to paper assets, maybe what could be going on with the actuality and relevance of our day-to-day lives that could change in the future.
Yeah, and that's a shame, but that's why we have a very self-motivated libertarian audience that values personal sovereignty and freedom. And, as you and I discussed sort of in a pre-interview about a week ago, liberty begins with your own personal sovereignty, and self-defense, your home defense, is key to defending your home and defending your family. Now, let's talk about the best way to defend your home and your property. As you know, as we've discussed, I've got a Glock, but I'm not saying that's the best home defense mechanism. Maybe a shotgun would be better. Why don't you give us your take on what everybody should know about home defense?
Sure. Well, the way I look at it is whatever works best for them is great, but I'm just going to share a couple of topics that have been good and effective for me. Again, you need to accept the fact that it could happen to you. You need to have a family plan, and family training is a part of it as well. Just because you can operate a weapon system within your own home doesn't mean that you're always going to be there. And secondly, if you have a wife or able-bodied children, they should have the knowledge as well. What I'm going to start out with is going to be the fact that if you're going to introduce a pistol or a long gun, that's fine. The most reliable source for a handgun is obviously going to be a revolver. The reason I recommend a revolver, and there are many manufacturers, but more and more recently they've covered a wider spectrum of needs within handguns, and in the past few years Taurus has come out with the Judge, and more recently, and a better choice I believe, is the Smith & Wesson Governor. That would take the most elementary firearm, being a revolver that you cannot fail with as long as you can physically pull the trigger. The revolver is going to be fail-safe. Your family can operate it. Your wife can operate it. Regardless, it's going to fire mechanically sound with whatever the capacity of that revolver is. The governor now has 6 shots opposed to the Taurus Judge in the past. That is going to be a very basic pistol. It's a revolver. The revolver will not fail.
Now, how do you feel about shotguns in the home? That seems to be a no-fail sort of option, too.
Sure. Well, with a shotgun, there's always the trusty Remington 870 along with the Mossberg models 500 and 590. I also like to add on the shotgun note that anyone that may enter a home, I don't care if they've had any firearm experience or you take anyone that's never even considered looking at or wanting to fire a firearm, it's a pretty reliable fact that if you hear the sound of a shotgun slide racking a shell, that is almost an international sound of, I better not be in this place, and picks the next one up the road.
Right.
In addition to that, the 12 gauge, again, a pump action, you have reliability factors that are going to be better than any automatic shotgun. You also have decent shot capacity. But I also want to go back to, you said you owned a Glock, and as we discussed earlier, it's a 9mm. That
right.
as well is a very good choice. And again, what I want to say is you can say this gun is better than that gun, that firearm works more effectively for this person. That's great. But my point here with you today is that we need to cover basic ideas for maybe someone that hasn't gone out to the range with their friends, or they haven't taken that first step of saying, you know what, it could happen to me, and I'm going to do the first thing I can to protect myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know that you like Glocks. HK makes a nice firearm. SIG makes great firearms. S&W. So there's all sorts of choices, and we're not here to have that specific conversation on which beer is better. Certainly everybody has their own personal opinions on these things. But you brought up an interesting point as it relates to, for instance, the Glock 19, and that's ammo choices. Now, if you are in a situation where you need to use your firearm against somebody, you need to put that person down. If you're choosing to pull the trigger, that's why you're doing it. So let's talk about ammo choices.
Sure. When I talk about ammunition, there's a couple things that I want to bring up, and I think they're all valid points. Number one, you need to have an ammunition that is newer manufactured, preferably made by a large manufacturer, and you're going to have some reliability with that. In addition to that, you need to consider caliber factors. A common caliber is going to be a 9, 40, or 45 ACP. The reason I say that is if down the road ammunition became scarce, you need to go with a caliber that is most commonly used, with the 9mm being a NATO round and 45 and 40 also being very popular in the United States. The other thing with anything that you choose, again, you need to take that first step. You need to recognize that a problem could occur with you and not be a blind sheep when it comes to it. And the next thing is, after you decide, you need to go down to a local gun store. And the reason I say a local gun shop is there's other big box retailers. However, I don't suggest buying a firearm from someone behind the counter who could tell you that eggs are down on aisle 12. Are you with me on that?
Yeah, I am with you on that. I think it's very important to deal with informed people. Absolutely.
Right, and these people, you need to remember, are in the business to help and actually educate people before they even make a purchase. So again, the guy that is at the big box store probably isn't going to have near the knowledge that someone that specifically sells firearms and firearms-related accessories. Without a doubt, you're going to get better customer service, and you're going to educate yourself further before making a critical decision to, in fact, be able to deploy a weapon in your home. So I think that people need to get away from the mindset of the big box retailers and maybe focus more with a localized gun shop.
Yeah, and to that point also, somebody who specializes in this and is passionate about it can help demystify the purchase. So for those to whom this information is new, I mean, what's liberating about owning a firearm or several firearms is that it is a way to ensure your own personal sovereignty. It's a way for you to declare that you are a sovereign human being and no one will take your liberty from you or your family from you or your property from you in your home. And that is the reason reason we're having this conversation. Now, one of the things I just want to touch on quickly, just because I'm afraid we're going to forget, is full metal jacket versus jacketed hollow point. That's something important to consider if you have a 9mm, or maybe we should talk about a 40mm. Is that a better choice because it's a larger caliber weapon?
Well, the 9mm being metric and the 40 being an American caliber as far as the dimensions and measurement of it, yeah, let's talk about that. That's a good point. A lot of people that I've come in contact with and on my professional level on the street that ask a question, or maybe it's someone that is arrested for whatever type of charge it may have been, we will come in contact frequently with people that have full metal jacket ammunition that's ball ammunition that's more or less intended for target practice, loaded in weapons that they would actually, at some point, the purpose they had it was, in fact, to use it possibly in a defense situation. Now, the reason that you would want to stay away from the full metal jacket is simply that when a target, being a flesh-like target, is hit, the full metal jacket is not going to offer the actual damage or channel wound that is critical in a defensive type situation where you need to eliminate that threat immediately to prevail out of that situation. Whereas a full metal jacket now, in the home especially, you're going to achieve further penetration. However, you also now need to deal with the fact that these can penetrate walls. They can go somewhere that you didn't expect or plan them to do. So a jacketed hollow point, and the more money you can spend on any of this, the better off you're going to be. You need to afford yourself the opportunity to buy something that's not going to be substandard. So when you're doing this, you need to realize this is like a large bank account that you've made deposits. And when you need that one big-time withdrawal, it better all come together and you can pull it out and make it work. Because another topic that we discuss is when someone is going to engage a situation under pressure, your heart rate's up over 180 a minute. You may not be able to see. It could be dark. The best day that you've ever had on the practice range, you should only expect yourself to be about half as good while you're actually under pressure and you're trying to survive and prevail rather than survive. And in addition to that, you may be putting children off in a room. You may be telling the wife, hey, you need to call 911 or whatever the scenario may be. So your best day out for training, you're only going to be half as good when the time comes that you need to defend yourself and your family and property.
That's a great point, Joe. Before I let you go, let's just talk a little bit about, for instance, say, an AR-15. The media is referring to these as assault rifles and selling them as being so dangerous, and certainly only a terrorist would have one. What is the benefit of having a weapon like that, or at least the benefit of having training in a weapon like an AR-15?
Sure. The AR-15 platform is utilized by military forces, myself at a professional level, and I also enjoy having them for personal practice, and it could be deployed in a home defense scenario. However, people in the audience that are familiar with firearms probably have one. They probably know how to operate it. But for someone that's going to take that first step that really never had any firearms training or experience, I would tell them probably to stay away from that until they further their education in the field of firearms. The only reason for that is the weapon is larger, it's more cumbersome, it has a lot more features to it that would need to actually have the operator be somewhat educated with the system that's going to go beyond a reliable handgun such as a Glock or any reliable semi-automatic pistol, and it's certainly going to be more complicated than the simple revolver or a pump shotgun for that matter. So yeah, do they serve a purpose? Absolutely. However, it needs to be more aligned with someone that is going to have the trained hand and how to effectively operate that system.
All right, and let's end on this. When we talk about the Second Amendment and our right to keep and bear arms, it's really central to a constitutional republic. So, Joe, as it relates to the Second Amendment and the right to keep and bear arms, what sort of words of wisdom do you want to leave us with?
Sure. Well, the Second Amendment is important, and the government in the history of the United States was, in fact, supposed to fear the people. It wasn't really supposed to be the other way around. However, with our paradigm shift, and if you want to take the Overton window approach at it, each time we allow different bills to be passed that slightly shift it one way or another, and whichever one way or another it may be, it's normally against the general populace as far as their personal rights are concerned. We can't take for granted or turn a blind eye to it, because as time progresses and as tyranny may set in further, we need to keep the mindset that, yeah, we have this right, let's take advantage of it, and if we allow more and more to go through in the opposite direction, it's a losing battle. And unfortunately, even in my short lifetime, the exact thing has happened over the years.
Yeah, well, I mean, as has often been said, we need to exercise our rights so that they don't atrophy. And that's the reason we're having this conversation. It's central to the Constitution, it's central to our liberty, and it's central to our own personal sovereignties as human beings and as Americans. Just check out the Oath Keepers website. I think it's oathkeepers.com, and Stuart Rhodes is a real patriot. And, I think given the fact that you care about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights enough to have reached out to me to want to have this conversation, it says a lot about you. And we just appreciate your willingness to talk about these issues, and hopefully you'll talk about these issues with your fellow officers, as you feel comfortable doing that, because certainly we're in the 11th hour in our republic as the bankers try to introduce austerity around the planet, and they're turning the homeland security apparatus around on the people now. And we really are in the 11th hour, so it's going to be good men and women like you who are going to need to stand up to help educate your fellow officers so that when the time comes, the apparatus isn't turned around on the people in a violent way. So I want to thank you for your time, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you're doing.
All right. Well, it was good to talk to you, and perhaps we'll do it again in the future.
Okay, Joe. I really appreciate your time. Thanks, man.
All right. We'll talk to you, and take care, and enjoy your weekend.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, friends, thanks for all your support. Be sure to check out sgtreport.com for all the latest. Good night.